It's time. Round 1. A new season, a new beginning. 13 riders, there can only be one winner. 2 hours of action-packed Florida bar racing is coming up. This is Big Buck 2020, live on Racer TV.
Hello and welcome to the opening round of the 2020 GNCC Series presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. Live coverage today on RacerTV.com is brought to you in part by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. I'm Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Moore to give you the call. And you know, throughout the years, we've seen some amazing battles and back-to-back championship sweeps by many different athletes. And coming off a championship in 2019 is Walker Fowler. We had a chance to catch up with Walker coming into this opening round. 5 straight championships.
Same old got down south after the Christmas holiday. Got down to South Florida where it's beautiful, sunny, and warm pretty much every day. We had some cold days, had some rain, but it's a good place to do your training. Obviously, that's kind of been the same deal for the last several years, and it works out really good for me. But yeah, we got back to the States, got some stuff squared away with the team, subtle changes, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're just rolling with a lot of the same products, a lot of the same sponsors. We are teaming up with Landers next year, the new Landers and Chris Landers family, so we're pretty excited about that. Hopefully there's some good things in store in that XC2 class too.
Now that we've had a word with the champ, let's head on over to Junior Trail Boss Jared Borich to give us an overview of what this weekend's track was.
Thanks, guys. Well, it's time to kick off the season, and what better place to do that than Big Buck? It's been a tough week. Everybody's been wondering about the weather. It's been raining on and off. It's been a little wet, but guess what? The woods are actually really awesome. There's been so much pine needle and leaf cover out there that really the rain has never got all the way to the dirt. The dirt's been really hard packed, so what rain did get to us really ran off. We could see some epic dirt this weekend on an epic course. This course is really good. We've got a super long track this weekend. We've added a few more miles than what we normally do. There's something for everyone out there. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're already kicking off this year saying the same thing you say every race, but that holds true at Big Buck. There's fast stuff, there's grass track, there's tight bike-only sections. There truly is something for everyone at the Big Buck, and that's why so many people love to come out and go racing here.
Thanks, Jared. Now let's get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back in just a few moments with live coverage of the opening round of the 2020 GNCC Series presented by Specialized in just a couple moments. Live coverage of the 2020 GNCC Series on RacerTV.com is brought to you by MMI. Get there faster, smarter. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. Hello and welcome along the World Wide Web at RacerTV.com. Rodney Tomlin along with Chuck LeMaster today and Alicia McCormick. And, of course, here at the home of the Big Buck GNCC in the opening round of 2020. It is the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. And, of course, a big day and a lot of things on tap as far as today's racing action is concerned. And one rider that is really chomping at the bit as he's trying to get things turned around here in 2020 after a stellar performance last year. The number 2, he's going to be going for the number 1 this year. Talking about Bryson Neal. Bryson, welcome to the Big Buck, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, guys? We're ready to get it on. Perfect weather today, perfect soil, great track, beautiful weather. You know, this is what everyone dreams for. Not too hot, not too cold, no dust, no mud. Great day for racing.
It is a great day for racing. Beautiful blue skies and sunshine raining down on us. As he said, the track is tacked up nicely, and we've got the stage set for a great race today. Let's meet that starting lineup. And rolling to the line first today, riding aboard the number 1. He is a 5-time GNCC champion, hailing from Rogers, Ohio on a WFR GBC Tires Fly Racing Yamaha. Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today. He rides aboard the number 2, hailing from Bidwell, Ohio on a CST Tires Hauser Racing Waynesburg Yamaha, Bryson Neal. Aboard the number 3 from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, a 6-time GNCC champion on a Phoenix Honda Racing Honda, there's Borich. Rolling to the line today, 4th in points, aboard the number 4 from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on an Action Off-Road Teely Energy Kenda Racing Yamaha, the Coltrane, Cole Richardson. And now riding the number 5 in 2020 out of Casca, Pennsylvania on a JMR GBC Elka Moose Racing Honda, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. And now 6th in points aboard the 521 from Waverly, West Virginia on the McGill Mafia over tires LSR Moose Racing Honda, the Gator, Adam McGill. He is 7th in points, riding aboard the number 7, coming off of a season-ending win from Newfield, New York on an HHR Maxxis Fly Racing Ithaca Recreation Sports Yamaha, Hunter Hart. Up next, he's 8th in points after last year's championship of motocross rider and GNCCer from Myersville, Maryland on the Wolf Racing 9.2 FTR Graphics Heel Cycle Barn Suzuki WW Wesley Wolf. Rolling to the line today, 9th in points. He begins his 26th season as an XC1 Pro Class rider aboard the number 10 from Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Factory Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. Rolling to the line next, he's aboard the number 11 machine from Akron, Ohio, to B&R Motorsports GBC HMF Engineering back Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Up next aboard the 701 from Ithaca, New York on a Covert Racing Custom Access Waynesburg Yamaha, Greg Covert. The number 712 from Waxhaw, North Carolina. He's a rookie here in 2020 on a Pierce Performance GBC Tires Fly Racing Yamaha, John Glada Jr. And welcoming back, last and certainly not least, the 406 from Windsor, New York on a Devin Feehan Racing GBC Fly Racing Honda, Devin Feehan. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC in our XC1 Pro class. All poised and ready to strike into that first turn now. A lot of changes if you're taking note. Chris Borich, the winningest GNCC racer of all time, making the switch from the Suzuki back to his original roots of a Honda, believe it or not. That's where he started. Good to see him. Walker Fowler also switching things up, teaming up with the WFR and the Lance Mill XC company of Drew Landers and the boys out there. We've seen the changes with, of course, the number 2, Bryson Neal, as he goes back to his own family-based program. And we've seen some other changes that have been monumental. The number 4 going to the Teely Energy Racing team, of course, of Coltrane, Cole Richardson. So many changes just through our top 5 right there. There's a lot to be expected here as we start the new season with a lot of anticipation of what the future holds. It's a change. It's a season of change, my friends, and that's what I'm going to tell you. A new decade, and GNCC is reaching an all-new era, and it all begins here this weekend in South Carolina as riders are in their final preparation stages right now, readying themselves for the waving of this green flag and the start of a brand new season. Everyone is tied. Everyone has a shot at the championship right now as we wait for Ricky Towery to give us the final word. All checks are going. The track is ready. Everything is ready. All systems are go. And Ricky Towery lets our riders know 1 minute before the start of the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Championship Series as we celebrate 46 seasons of this all-road pleasure. And of course, you are a big part of it here today in these red soils. The hearts are beginning to pound, eyes beginning to tighten as they stare down that long stretch into that first turn, waiting for Ricky Towery to give them the next signal, which is the blue flag. And shut them down, guys, shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. We are now less than 30 seconds away from going GNCC racing. And with this new era and a new change on the horizon, I gotta ask the Big Buck GNCC racing fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? That's mighty fine, my friends, I gotta tell you, but this is South Carolina, it's Big Buck, and I know we can do better than that. We're kicking off the 2020 season here at Big Buck, so I'm gonna ask you one more time, are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds, and row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. $250 up for grabs as our riders round the first turn. It's Walker Fowler, 2 bike lengths ahead, and the double ones behind him. Again, Josh Merritt out of Ohio. As we now head to the road number 2, the XC2 Pro-Am with Drew Landers, Jordan Poplansky, Ben Kowalski, also Tanner Walker, Michael McAvoy, Noah Nicholson, Kenny Schick, Brandon Owens, Levi Cohen, Daniel Peters, Wayne Wilkin, Dylan Walraven, Austin Abney, Ronnie Rush, Devin Masters, Troy Gubb, Brandon Frazier, and Brent Hickey, ready to roll in 10 seconds. And they're off. Running through the gears, bouncing off the wheels, and it's going to be... Wouldn't quite catch the number on that first place ride. We'll try to get it for you in just a few moments. Big John, what was that? Who got the whole shot? We'll get it in just a moment. Junior A 22 plus class, Bryce Wineland, also Benny Danner, Nick Davidson, Justin Miller, Tyler Palmer, Jeremy Ladon, Caleb Edwards, Andrew Hickson, Zach Wright, Brandon Soulsby. 10 seconds. John Tice, Devin Menegatti, Thomas McLaughlin, also Josh Taylor, Alex Elliott, Jared Little, looking at Kate Vanderpool, Jay Millward, Emily Wise, Justin Collins, Justin Ison, Dylan Taylor, Lee Workman, Tyler Miller, Jonathan Kreinbold, Colton Kendall, Austin Menegatti, Monty, also Brody Livingood. And the GBC Motorsports Pierce Performance C Brothers back to right. Also Chris Ballou and Tyler Nivers out there with us as we move to our next row. This will be the vet A30 plus class. Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens, Brad Whitehead, Dirk DeCeasy, Chris Conklin, Aaron Hendershot. 10 seconds. James Green, Josh Lynn, Zachary Coates, Thomas Gable, Neil Pitts, Michael Lancaster, and Tom Coops. AJ. Front, 275. That's going to be James Green from St. Mary's, West Virginia, on a JK Racing AC Motorsports Pirate MX backed ride. Gotta dig the boys at Pirate MX, John Bachman. Thank you for all the support you go out there in Senior 840 plus. 10 seconds. Michael Hayes, Shane Worth, Jason Noble, Wesley Stone, Tom Barrett, Brian Foltz, Mark Batson, and Dale Batson. Couple of moto guys, Mark and Dale Batson, coming from the ATV motocross side of things, have become real avid off-road racers and top contenders for wins and championships. But out here today, 451, Tom Barrett from Morrisville, New York, on a Rick Snyder Racing Barrett Brothers Auto and O'Neill backed ride, grabbing the early lead as we go to the college change. 16 to 21, Dalton Keys, Andrew Benoski, Grayson Eller, Josh Ritchie, Jerry Dawkins, Kelvin Harmon. Also, Trey Simon, Cody Edwards, Alec Vanderpool. 10 seconds. Cody Forrester, Davis Prince, and Nate Harvey, Noah England, Chase Allison, Seth Wilson, Gavin Jenkins, Caleb Hagan, Corey Vanderleiter, Kyle Howard, Colton Buck, Cameron Avey, Mikey Nichols, and Blaze Cook, all in this college A class. Should be a barn burner, and out front, it's a 1-4-2 of Andrew Banovsky out of East Palestine, Ohio, on a Rain Tech Irrigation, Scott, and Fly. DJ Walensky, Travis Lafelle, looks like Stephen Martin. 10 seconds. Brent Barna, Donald Griffith, and Max Bittinger. Junior B, 22 plus class, off and rolling now. .186 or 88, Nick May from Monongahela, Pennsylvania. Ought to be in our Motorsport GBC tire backed ride. Going to snag the early lead in this one as we go to the vet B class now. Nathan Tickle, Dominic Ferrito, Daryl Short, David Kite, Tom Brodowski. Also Cody Holcomb, Dave Ashby, Wesley Smith, and Cody Stewart in 10 seconds. It is the 508 Dave Ashby from Amity, Pennsylvania. The 40-year-old vet, 30-plus B-class rider. He's eligible for the other class, but hey, he's riding in the 30-plus. Here's the class he's eligible for, the Senior B 40-plus, coming up with Greg Phillips, Chris Turn, Dominic Minichi, Jason Flaviano, Joe Kaplan. 10 seconds. Daniel Dakota, also Scott Campbell, Joe Ruscu, Bobby McCauley, Kenneth Yarbrough, Cliff Williams, Nick Lambruno, and Robert Stevens. Senior B 40-plus class. .359, Jason Flaviano from Gyrard, Ohio. Gyrard get the early lead as we go to College B. Kate Alexo, Stan the Man Johnson, Sam Eisen, Jacob Fleming, Wesley Wirtz, Aaron Vickery, Derek Bulkley, also Caden Clunks. 10
seconds.
Ramey Wilkinson, Dominic Stevens, Ian Burns, Michael Snyder, also Jonathan Vigley, Brian Williams, Hunter Godsey, Alex Nelson, Zachary Perdue, Chance Hickey, Malachi Staten, and Caden Ryan. I believe that's our final row, off and rolling now as it's the 440. I thought of it might have been the 413. Dominic Stevens out of Warren City, Pennsylvania. Happy belated birthday, Dad. Thank you for everything. And even if you didn't get the whole shot, I think that was worth mentioning anyway. Well, that's it, my friends. The 2020 season is officially underway here in South Carolina, and the 46th annual Grand National Cross Country Championship presented by Specialized is coming right at you. Stick around here on RacerTV.com. Who's going to walk away with this one? Will it be Walker Fowler? He's got the early lead. Will Josh Maris surprise us all? Or will Chris Borich get that Honda back up in the center of the box? Stick around to find out. Racer TV and GNCC Live continues after this.
Am I supposed to be announcing this?
The action is just heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay with us, live action on RacerTV.com.
It's a big world out there. How do you choose to see it? When you crave the long canyons, rocky trails, rutted tracks, and lonely highways, they become a part of you. Podiums and personal records, we choose it all. Because life is about moving and feeling. It's about being connected to the adventure. Some just never pull the trigger. They keep waiting, wondering what it means to wander. It's a big world out there. You just need to ride where you belong.
Inside every Yamaha lives the heart and soul of a competitor. The DNA of a champion. When you ride with us, it revs your heart and becomes a part of you too.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gasket seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best inside their engine. Cometic Gaskets are always constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environments. Whether it's a championship on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts alike depend on Cometic. Cometic Gasket, sealing championships since 1989.
Welcome back to GNCC Live on RacerTV.com. I'm Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf and Alicia McCormick as well as we bring to you the coverage of the opening round of 2020. 46 years we've been at this, and wow, I tell you, each and every year it gets special. Something special about this year, there are a few changes there in that XC1 Pro pits.
You know, honestly, all the hubbub leading into the race, obviously the weather forecast didn't look great. A lot of people had a lot of things to say. I wasn't a big fan of it, so I just kind of shut my mouth for about the last 2 weeks leading up to the race. I knew this place could take a lot of water. If you're standing here today on race day, and those of you fans watching at home, I mean, you couldn't ask for better dirt here. This is going to be the best big buck dirt we've ever had. Yes, there's going to be some water spots. Yes, there's going to be some, some mud holes down in the bottoms, but by and large, I mean, this dirt's perfect. It's going to provide great racing, and man, I'm just pumped to be here at round 1 and ready to roll.
Looking forward to getting out there and seeing what we can do. Obviously this year we're coming in pretty strong. We've been working really hard on the off season, just putting a bunch of time on the bike, probably more than ever, and yeah, trying to just keep going with it.
Yeah, I definitely think the conditions perked up compared to what it was brought up to be. So everyone's running the same track, and I think it's a level playing field for today's racing.
Hey guys, it's Hunter Hart. Yeah, we're out here at round 1 at Big Buck for the 2020 season. It's been an awesome off season, and yeah, we're ready to go. You know, we've been down in Florida all winter, so it's a little chilly up here right now, but I mean the sun's out and it's gonna be an awesome day to go racing. I biked the track yesterday, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. You know, the rain we got earlier in the week is gonna make this Big Buck track just absolutely amazing. My Maxxis tires are gonna be digging all day, and I'm excited.
Live coverage of the 2020 GNCC Series on RacerTV.com is brought to you by MMI. Get there faster, smarter. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com as we take a look at our Yamaha Racing Skycam high above what was supposed to be a muddy, nasty mess. And, of course, Chuck LeMaster joining us here. And, Chuck, I'll tell you right now, it's not so much a muddy, nasty mess. I know leading into the week, with the weather the way things were, it rained, it did this, it did that. It was looking nasty, but Thursday night it kind of cleared up, I guess you could say. Friday it was cold, but things really dried out so much on Friday. Unbelievable, honestly.
Well, I think that there was a lot of confusion or maybe some angst because last year this round actually got canceled. There was so much rain and so much standing water on this property that they had to cancel round number 1.
And people don't get it. I mean, I don't think people realize they think that we canceled because the trails were too muddy and this and that. That's not the case whatsoever. Rarely are the trails too muddy or impassable. It's the pits that give us the problem. We couldn't even get in here last year, so they made the call out there. And look at the track right now.
I mean, Racer TV's giving us a nice view of the track right now, and man, this is a cake batter.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
Perfect conditions. You're not going to ask for anything better. There's a little bit of a tack to it. There is moisture in the soil, but it's a tacky moisture. It's not an overwhelming moisture that really sticks a lot to the machines. Now, granted, there are those low-lying areas and those mud holes that do, but I know a lot of the 4x4 guys and the sport quads and the 10 or the 11 o'clock race this morning likely blew a lot of that out. So I don't think there's a lot to contend for here for our afternoon riders, but I haven't been around the entire course, and I know there's always that trick up the sleeve that the track crew likes to bring in.
Well, the track crew always has something for them, but I talked to Johnny Gallagher on the starting line there, and I know you talked to him during the 11 o'clock interview hour, and he said that he thought that this was just going to be epic. He biked the track. He said there's some mud in the low-lying areas, but nothing that's unpassable, nothing that's unmanageable, and he's looking forward to a good day of racing. I have to agree with him. As our Skycam is showing us, the conditions here are perfect, and I would have never thought that. This morning when I got up and I got into the booth for the start of the 8 o'clock race, I think it was 23 degrees, and it was ridiculously cold. I had my hand warmers on. I had a hat on my head, and man, right now we're shedding jackets here in the Racer TV booth, and we're trying to get sunglasses on, and man, we're looking forward to a really good day of GNCC racing?
I was looking everywhere for that radio, and it was right in front of me the whole time.
Oh, see, I thought you were digging for your sunglasses.
No,
Rodney's scrambling around the table here looking frantically for something.
I couldn't figure out where that sound was coming from as my radio laying.
It's been a long day already. I'll tell you what, man, he doesn't know it, but Mikey Waynes, when he's not here, the days get longer.
Don't give him a big head.
He's not here to hear me.
Right. It's harder on you.
It is definitely harder on me. But, man, I am thrilled to be able to jump in here. God gave me a gift of gab.
Amen.
And, man, not only do I get to bring the church to the racetrack, but I get to bring some insight to the racetrack, too, I hope.
Yeah, and I think God brought you to me to help out in situations just like that. So, I mean, it's one big thing. It's all good, right?
Yeah. It is good. It is good, man. I enjoy, first of all, I had a passion for racing, so getting to jump in here in the booth with you and get to talk shop like this is, I want to say, a dream come true. So,
it's a dream come true for me, believe it or not. I never dreamed that I would dream this dream, but it all became, I had a
nightmares
dream.
are dreams too,
I had a dream. It just didn't necessarily come this path, but this path has been one that I can't ever go back and change.
You would never map it out like that.
No, I never. And speaking of maps, we've got a map right now, believe it. Oh, we got our leaders on screen. That's Walker Fowler. That's out near the 6.5 mile marker, the Monster Mile. Look at this. Walker has amassed an amazing lead here as we take a look at this, and I'm going to say already we're looking at 10+ seconds between first and second. Wow. That's pretty phenomenal. I think Walker's trying to make a statement. Look at this, second place, the number 7, last year's winner. 20 seconds behind is Hunter Hart now, who finished first at the Ironman GNCC.
That's right.
In muddy conditions, he said he wanted to come out. I knew there was a switch that needed to be flipped, the confidence level, and that kid had that to chew on all winter long. He trained for that, and he came out here. He said, I don't want to come back and then say I'm just a mud racer, and he is proving himself.
He's proving it right now. Man, I'll tell you what, that is an incredible start for him to be in second place in this race. He's got some work to do to catch up to Walker Fowler, but, man, this is a long race. This is a 2-hour race. He's got himself right where he needs to be. There goes the number 10 of Johnny Gallagher. He's not too far off the pace.
No, and 26 years. This starts his 26th season as an XC1.
I'm not even that old.
Okay. There are a lot of most of the guys he's racing against really
are not that old, are they?
That's nuts, man. So here we are at the Monster Mile checking in. We're going to check in, I believe, with some of our XC2 Pro-Am riders that will be coming through here in just a few moments. And we'll also be taking a look at our track map here in just a few moments. So here we go. And there it comes. And that is, can we get a number on that? A 14.
14 of Drew Landers.
Drew Landers, I was going to say, I believe that's Landers' new number here for 2019.
Yep, he ripped the whole shot in that class, and Mark Nautman went 2 for 2.
So that was Drew that got. I couldn't quite see the number of who actually got the whole shot. They didn't have a rear number plate, so I missed it when he went around the corner.
Oh, well, when he listens to the replay of this broadcast, I bet he shows up in the next race with a rear number plate.
I hope he does, because that's how we get a chance to see it. There comes some more riders.
I was standing at a different angle, so I got to see that, and he ripped it, too. He ripped it like Walker Fowler did, so that's why I give the credit to Mark Nautman. They're the mechanic for WF Racing.
Yeah.
And Mark's been working hard. He showed a picture online a couple days ago of all the bikes that he had built for this season, and I don't know how he has the time to do it all, even if that's his full-time gig. That's amazing.
I know he's got 5 XC1 championships, but I wonder how many other championships as a mechanic he has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. Helping out some of these amateur guys. He's not exclusively Walker Fowler's mechanic. He farms himself out.
Yeah, and rightfully so. It's kind of like those guys that at the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. I don't know how many folks, a lot of folks have passions for being in motorcycle and ATV racing. Not everybody's a racer, though. Mark was a racer.
And he was a fast racer,
He was a fast racer, and he chose to go the mechanic route when Walker talked to him about it. And it was a really good choice, I think.
He was all in. And from the very beginning, they've been winning championships together.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So, you know, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you're watching at home or you're here at the track and you're like, I'm not the best rider, I don't have the best resources, so I'm never going to be the top guy in the class, but I still want to be a part of the industry, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute is the way to go. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is a huge and monumental turn in your life if you choose to go that path.
True.
They've got several different locations across the United States, and they do everything from motorcycles to NASCAR and all kinds of different and everything in between. They have every type of motorcycle and engine building and things of that nature that you could ever think of. So check them out, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. I'm just had to give them a little plug out there. All right, let's take a look at that track map now as we get in some of our college class riders checking in right now. And
that
Yamaha,
is a beautiful thing right there.
That is a long thing right there, too.
Yeah.
13, is that say 14 miles?
It does, but according to Jared Bolton at the
That's
at
for
the
the
beginning of this, there are 2 miles that they're not going to do this afternoon, so I think that brings it down to maybe an 11-mile course.
Yeah, so about 11 miles for the ATVs. If you're looking there, you see the orange. That's some bike-only sections. That's some of the tighter woods. And like we talked about, we haven't been here for a couple of years, so some of those smaller saplings have actually turned into trees now.
Oh, wow.
So we've got some tighter woods out there than what we've had
That's
in the past.
true. We haven't been here in a couple of years. You know, we're so used to racing at Big Buck and think that you know what you're getting into, but the land is healed for a couple of years now. So,
yeah.
This is definitely going to be an interesting race.
So just to give you an idea, we don't have a camera shot. We got a camera shot at the finish line. Next camera shot isn't until the Monster Mile at the 6.5. Then we'll be,
which is I think what we're looking at right now.
And then at the 8-mile marker, we'll be heading to here in just a few moments, I believe, or someplace 8.25-mile marker is the FMF PowerPoint. We've got a camera shot, I believe, at the 9. And then coming into the pits, we've got some other ones. So we'll get a good feel of what the end of each lap is going to be like. And honestly, it super excites me for the fact of what the end could be like. I know Walker Fowler's got an astronomical lead going on right now, but at the same time, that could tighten up. And regardless of what happens with Walker, those guys back there in second, you got Hunter Hart, and you know there's a host of veterans that don't want to let this sophomore win or be on the podium 2 times in a row like that and get that confidence rolling. And you know it as well as I do. We watched Hunter Hart grow up from the youth ranks. He broke every record that Walker Fowler ever thought about setting, I think, through the youth ranks, through the amateur ranks, in the pro-am, and even into this. I think the only thing that Hunter didn't do was win an overall from the second row that Walker Fowler did.
Walker Fowler did 1, I think.
Yeah. So pretty impressive stats on what I think we've got with Hunter Hart, the young one, in the number 2 spot. And this is going to be a kid to keep an eye on. And people say, yeah, you're just blowing it up, No. Hunter Hart is going to be one to keep an eye on.
He's legitimate, and he has earned his name. He's definitely been putting in the hours and the riding. Comes from good stock. His family is very supportive of him and been able to bring him out here to all these. And it's been fun to watch him grow into his own and to win a GNCC. And it was cool to see him at Ironman. He didn't even know he had won. It was so muddy. He came across the line thinking he was in second, and he'd actually made a pass and got
and he's in the same kind of scenario. That same thing could happen today out here with Walker again. Walker had a huge lead at Ironman, if you remember, and the same thing happened. It could happen here today. Now, there's not muddy, and chances of repeats like that happening are kind of slim to none, especially whenever we're talking about Walker Fowler and his program. But regardless, pretty amazing stuff. And guess what? We got a winner here with us, point leader and the overall winner from this morning. Landon Wolf making his way into the booth here today, and L-Dub won. Welcome back to RacerTV.com and GNCC Live, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Good to be back. It seems like it really hadn't been that long, though, right? Seems like not.
It's like I said, it didn't even feel like, it feels like we were just at Big Buck, even though it's been 2 years ago.
Oh, I know.
It still doesn't seem like we even missed a year.
Yeah, like 2 weekends ago, we were at Ironman, right?
That's the way it feels, for sure.
We had Christmas in between.
Yeah, Christmas and New Year's, so.
All right, down there on VP Fuels Pro Road, getting a little VP Fuel itself, the C12. Now, tell me a little bit about the VP Fuels. Do they just put it in straight, or do they mix it with the pump gas? How are they running this stuff out there?
I think it all depends on the bike. All depends on the motor that's built in each rider's bike. So yeah, some bikes they mix it up a little bit. Some bikes they run straight, and VP also has a huge variety for different types of
Walker
engines.
coming through pits right now.
Walker Fowler, as we look at him on the Yamaha
such a
Sky
cool
Cam.
shot.
That is, and at least 20 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Walker doesn't appear to be pushing the envelope any, but he is flying out
He's
there,
completely
right?
through the pits, and we haven't seen Hunter Hart yet.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see that third and fourth place battle shaping up too.
I was just out there in the field section taking a look at them all coming through before I came down here. Walker Fowler, I mean, he's picked right up where he left off. Just on rails.
He's killing it.
He's just so smooth and effortless.
There we go.
Hunter Hart, who we have on screen right now, didn't start in second. He came from, I don't know, fourth or fifth, moved up into second, so he's clearly on the move. But close behind him, I know we had Jared McClure and a couple other riders, as you can see on screen.
Yeah, we're a little bit far back to see, so it's good that you had the eyes on right there in the field to be able to see who is where at the early stage of this lap as this race is starting to unfold right now.
Yeah, I know we had Jared McClure, and I think Bryson Neal was starting to make his way up. That's not good there. Adam McGill in the pits.
Yeah, he's down in the we got a MMI pit stop, it looks like, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute pit stop, and it's
And
an
a frozen
unscheduled
screen.
And a frozen screen for Adam McGill, so he may be back out and on this track right now. We don't know, but wow, getting goggles. He looked like he buried that thing, man. He had a lot of mud on that machine.
I tell you, I think there might be a couple sections where they're just getting a lot of roost, and I think if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, because I saw, some guys were coming through that, like I saw Walker and Hunter Hart, who were both in the front of their little pack there, and they were just about as clean as can be. But then you saw a couple guys come through that were just covered.
And you could totally lose your goggles there.
Absolutely.
Half a lap into this race, and if you don't have goggles, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to have to stop. You're right at the pits. Stop, get you some fresh goggles, make up for that lost ground. Hopefully that's what was going on with Adam McGill. It's nice to see him returning to the ranks this year. He's one that's always had his head down, pushing hard as he can. He's got some more support this year. We hope that he can get back out there and make a name for himself today.
And as we roll through lap number 1, and we welcome Landon Wolf in, and nearing the completion of this first lap, and out here in some of these wood sections now. Wow, Johnny Gallagher is getting closer to that top 5, it looks like, right now. I don't know how far back. He was, 7th or 8th whenever he came through first time I saw him, I think?
Yeah. I think that was actually, I could be wrong, but I think that might have been him right behind Adam McGill after Adam stopped and got some goggles. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
I think that.
Well, let's hope he didn't fall back or anything. Now, let's talk about this course. You were out on the course, and I know we're going to have some pretty quick shots, so we'll probably break away from this a couple times. But the track, this Chuck and I were talking about, unbelievable what this track has turned out like, and what you may have thought it was going to be like if you looked at the weather, looked at pictures from earlier in the week even.
We are going to have to break away already because we have Walker Fowler coming through the finish line. So we'll get a good look. But since we have a little bit of time until second place, the track, we were a little bit scared coming into this race with a little bit of rain. The track crew did excellent, and the conditions, I think, are the best they've ever been here at Big Buck.
It really looks like that, Landon, as you're explaining it here. The dirt, watching during your race, you guys were coming through. You had some mud on you, but you weren't plastered.
Yeah.
And the dirt, from what we can see out here, and especially on Racer TV, it looks like somebody tilled and watered the track.
It really does. I mean, like you say, I had some dirt on you, and some of these guys are muddy, but a lot of it's just from, a couple little gullies that they're getting some roost on. But overall, I mean, there's not a speck of dust at all. Looks like I'm having a hard time.
Seeing it, but as they come through and the transponder picks it up,
Feehan
we'll be able
was
to see
in
what we're looking
third.
at.
Jared McClure in fourth. Josh Merritt came out with a really good start. That looks like Bryson Neal behind Jared McClure. He had a rough start and is making his way back through the pack, but I know we're getting ready to get some actual results
Yeah, well,
soon.
the way they came through the finish line here at the end of the first lap, it was Fowler. He had a 41-second lead. He doubled that 20-second lead in like 3 miles. Hunter Hart in the number 2 spot. He had only a 2-second lead over Devin
He's
Feehan.
got company.
And there's something else to talk about. Man, we saw Hunter Hart excelling there at the end of the year, especially at that last race. Devin Feehan really had a few races where we saw a lot of acceleration out of him. Some good starts. We're getting things put together for him, and he actually started putting some finishes together also.
Yeah, Devin Feehan came in with a little bit of a slow start. Ended up, I think, breaking maybe something in his shoulder. I forget. missed a couple races, and but he got that healed up and came on strong there at the end.
He most certainly did. We had a chance to catch up with him leading into this weekend, and this is what his mindset is heading into today's race.
I definitely think getting the first podium out of the way definitely helped me over the off season, just redefine everything I had, and I know I have the right equipment and the right training and whatnot, so just focus on the training and getting the program redefined. So it's all up to me now. Yeah, I mostly just do the training myself. I've worked with a couple trainers in the past, but yeah, I feel like I said, it's just a matter of putting in the work and yeah, getting it done.
Well, as you said, as we see there, he is ready. Obviously, a hard worker. Things didn't go the way that he hoped the first couple of years out there, but things finally starting to settle in for him. So Feehan in the number 3 spot, Jared McClure in 4th, Chris Borich in 5th, Bryson Neal 6th, John Glotta in 7th, Josh Merritt, who was 2nd off the start. He is in the 8th place position right now. And Landon, we were talking about, let's just give this a minute because we got some heated battles coming in, and I expect to see some XC2 guys coming in here pretty soon also, led by Drew Landers, at least at the last check when we saw those guys out about the 6.5 mile marker there just a little bit ago. All right, so our XC2 guys are in. Drew Landers leading Ronnie Rush, 4.2 seconds, and less than a second behind him, Brandon Owens on the PirateMX.com back machine. And I'll tell you something, I got a message the other day that said, watch out for Brandon Owens. He was a top college A rider last year. They said he's on fire, he's rolling. He is going, and this guy told me, he said, I expect he is going to really be the one that's going to be the thorn in Walker Fowler's side in a couple years. And whether or not that's true and whether or not that comes to pass, I don't know. But right now the stage is being set, and what I've been told about Brandon Owens as he steps up in this XC2 Pro-Am class, it's already starting to shine there, and it's starting to look like somebody knows what they may be talking about there. 2nd place back there right now. You got our 3rd place. You got Jordan Poplaski in the number 4 spot. Dylan Walraven in 5th. Kenny Schick in the number 6 spot. That's a good place for Kenny. Good to see him. Solid top 10 here in the XC2. Brandon Frazier, the 784 in 7th. And I got to go back, and I got to say, Kenny Schick has got to be one of the fastest guys that doesn't produce the results. I mean, every time you talk to somebody, they talk about how fast Kenny is. Beginning of the season, Kenny Schick, and the results just never seem to come. But obviously, during training and during off-season racing, he's just a ball of fire.
I've rode with him at his house before. We go, me, Walker Fowler, Johnny Gallagher, Josh Merritt, all those guys, and Kenny Schick just puts a whomping on everybody. He just, I don't know if he, though. You watch him come through the woods, I don't think he makes many mistakes. So, maybe he needs to loosen up just a little bit and get a little bit of aggression out. But I think that's one thing Brandon Owens really has going for him. I watched him come through the field out there, and he was in 4th at the time. I guess he's up into 3rd now, but just seems so aggressive on the bike, up on the bars, attacking every corner, and he looks really, really good out there. And obviously he's in the process of making passes and moving to the front. But there's a lot of competition in the XC2 class this year. I mean, obviously we have Drew Landers back. Jordan Poplaski is a huge contender still. And, all these other guys that we're talking about, Brandon Owens, Ronnie Rush, and so many more. And I think it's really going to turn out to be some really good racing in the XC2 Pro-Am class.
Yeah, I'm super pumped on this XC2. They're super pumped on this, and that's for sure. As we're down in the MMI pit stops for some of these guys already. Adam McGill, is he back in the pits one more time?
No. That's a friend of Adam's.
Okay, McGill Mafia rider. Okay, That makes a little more sense. So it looks like the McGill team is having some struggles out there for whatever reasons, Landon. And as we're wrapping this up, I do want to take this opportunity to welcome Miss Sparkle City, which is, and we'll be talking to her in just a moment, but Miss Sparkle City is Miss Spartanburg, going to be running for Miss South Carolina. Your name again is? C.J. McDermott, that's it. C.J. McDermott, she's going to be with us as well. We got a whole lot more great things in store as far as racing is concerned in this opening round of 2020. Who's going to take the big buck? Who's going to come out on top? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
So, it's GNCC Racing. This is Chris Borich. You're watching GNCC Racing. This is Chris Borich. You're watching GNCC live on Racer TV.
Inside every Yamaha lives the heart and soul of a competitor. The DNA of a champion. When you ride with us, it revs your heart and becomes a part of you too.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2019 Yamaha YZ250F is available at LoJack Cycle Sales, alongside the all-new YZ65 and YZ85, and refined YZ450F. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf, Chuck LeMaster, and Miss Sparkle City, C.J. McDermott, as we welcome C.J. here from Miss Spartanburg, I guess. Miss Sparkle City is what it's called. But, wow, a beauty queen.
Yes,
welcome to.
I guess so.
So tell me a little bit about what brings you out here to the Big Bug.
So it's really exciting. I've never done anything like this before, but it's just one of my appearances that I've had booked through my director. I'm super thankful to be here. Woke up at 8 a.m., drove 3.5 hours from Myrtle Beach, so excited to be here.
What was the weather like at Myrtle Beach this morning?
When I woke up this morning, my car was covered in frost.
Really?
I had to wait 10 minutes for everything to defrost, and then I got on my way.
Well, I'm not too disappointed because everything was covered in frost here too. So,
Yep.
but nonetheless, living Myrtle Beach, that's got to be a dream itself. So, tell me a little bit about being a Miss Sparkle City. I mean, what's going on there? How did you get that? How did you get into that? And what's the next steps? Where are we going to see you at next?
Yeah, it's a great honor. I've actually been doing pageants since I was 16. I started in the Miss America's Outstanding Teen program and now moved into the Miss America organization, which is great. My coach is a former Miss New York. I'm from Buffalo, New York originally. So, yeah, she kind of got me started. My talent is baton twirling, so that's something I've been doing since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
Really grateful. I have a natural talent for it, and it's something that I love, and I know I love that as much as these guys love what they're doing. So.
And I understand you have an interest in what we're doing on the broadcast end of things, huh?
I'm going to school for sport communication as well as recreation sport management. I'm currently a double major, sophomore at Coastal Carolina University. So I want to hopefully broadcast college football when I graduate. So.
Well, I tell you what, if you need any experience, get a hold of us here at Racer TV. We might be able to help you out a little bit. Obviously, very personable person. So, and good, obviously good person. You wouldn't be in the position you're in and doing the things that you're doing. So that's amazing. And just a short time in the pageant scene, and you're already top of the game. That's pretty amazing stuff right there, CJ. You're an amazing person all the way around. Beautiful, I know, but there's a lot more than beauty that goes into that. Personality and talent and all that stuff. So that just tells me you're a very well-rounded person, and glad to have you here representing the Big Buck this year.
Very happy to be here.
All right, well, thank you.
you for stopping by. And when do you go for Miss South Carolina?
That'll be at the end of June.
At the end of June. And then maybe we'll see you in the Miss USA pageant?
It would be Miss America.
Miss America pageant.
Yep.
All right, I'll be looking for you, CJ.
Thank you so much.
And I'll be looking to hear from you, too, soon, okay?
Yep.
All right. All right, that's CJ McDermott, and CJ hailing out of Myrtle Beach, I guess, and Miss Spartanburg, Miss Sparkle City, as we pick the action back up here on the racing side of things. Of course, it's Walker Fowler leading at a 40-some second lead over the rest of the field. At last check, it was the now sophomore of Hunter Hart running in second place position, which was pretty impressive stuff there, no doubt about that. And we've already talked about the fire that obviously has been lit under his tail after winning that race there a few months ago, the final round there of GNCC at the Ironman. Again, the very words, I mean, I seen him on Thursday, and I joked with him on Thursday. I said, well, it looks like we're setting the stage for another repeat, or for a repeat there, Hunter. And he's like, yeah, he says, but I don't want to be known for being a mud racer, you know?
Right.
So, and that's what he told me today in the Monster Energy pre-race interviews today down from BP Fuels Pro Road today. Also, it's the exact same thing he said. I don't want to be known as the guy that wins in the mud. Right. I want to be a racer. I want to be a contender and people to be threatened by me all the time. And I mean, we knew it, we know it, we understand it. We also understand the game. You are a former XC1 Pro Class rider yourself, and that's not an easy place to go race in, especially in your rookie and sophomore years. It's tough.
Absolutely. I mean, and a lot of it, I think a big difference between the XC1 and the XC2 class isn't so much always just the speed of the riders. It's a lot of the experience that they have and the conditioning and the patience. I mean, patience in this kind of racing is huge. And if you watch people, like right now, we have Jared McClure and Chris Borich and Bryson Neal in the 4th, 5th, and 6th position.
Yeah.
We have two fresh guys in 2nd and 3rd. But I would imagine there's that 4th, 5th, and 6th place position. They're kind of comfy where they're at. Probably not super comfy with the fact that Walker Fowler's got a gap like he does, but they know there is a long race left. I mean, we're not even halfway into this, and there's a lot to unfold yet. So it is going to be exciting to see where these guys end up in the end. But I think we have between 2nd and honestly 2nd to 8th. The one thing I'm not pumped with, Cole Richardson, just not a great start to today.
No, and that's a heartbreaker for him because I know he had a lot that he wanted to prove, especially after the way his season ended last year. Yes. I mean, he had some really good things going on, and he wanted to pick up and continue basically where he kind of left off. He had some good runs, obviously not the total luck he was looking for, but everything was headed in the right direction. He's got the new ride, the new support system with Teely Energy Racing over there, which is a lot more, I mean, other than probably when he was riding with Walker, and I don't know if Walker had as many people in the woods as what Teely Energy has in the woods to help him out. So this is a big move for, I think, Cole Richardson, and I think it's a big move for his program because, like I said, the team effort on that, the people out there pointing the lines, giving you the goggles, whatever it is that needs to be done, that really helps you in your endeavors.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're not kidding when they say this is not a one-person sport. I mean, this is a huge team sport. Nobody here is here alone. So
out near
there we have Walker Fowler coming through. That should be
6.5.
6.5. That's what I was going to say. But I think a lot of it was just a Cole start. I mean, I know he's been training really hard all winter long. I know he raced the Mid-East in Union, South Carolina, a couple miles down the road one weekend ago. And they said he was riding absolutely phenomenal, and Josh Merritt actually ended up winning that race. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
Merritt's another rider that I'm expecting to see. We saw it last year. We started seeing some gains forward for him, so I think we can expect to see bigger things out of him this year as well.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your race this morning. We told that you won, but we didn't tell how big of a battle.
Second place, I believe, unless I missed it. Second place is now Bryson Neal.
And how many seconds back? At about 40 to 50?
I don't know. It was
there's the number 7. There's Hunter Hart. So 3rd place. He's dropped off, but man, you can't tell it by the speed he's rolling with right now.
And
is that McClure still back and forth?
I couldn't quite catch who that was back there. I know that there is Chris Borich.
Yep, that's 5th
so
place.
That would have been 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Bryson Neal going by there.
No, Bryson Neal's up in 2nd now.
There
goes Cole Richardson.
Neal
so he is on it.
Neal went from 6th to 2nd place. Wow.
Yes. Absolutely.
Didn't catch
That's a heck of a ride there. And I noticed that out there. I know Bryson Neal starting has never been his strong suit. There we have Walker Fowler coming through the field section on the back side of the finish line area. But Bryson Neal just seems to really struggle with the starts a little bit. And if he could get that together, I mean, the issue is now that he's moved into that number 2 spot, he already has that 40-second gap in between him and Walker. That is so tough to make up.
It is, but it's still early in the race right now, and with we'll keep an eye on lap times right now, and that's one thing that we're going to see, and if any of that gap has been bridged. But the last 2 laps are going to be, I think, pretty monumental, to be honest with you, for this guy right here, especially if he can find the speed. The only thing that he's got against him right now is bike fitness. He's got some of the best off-the-bike fitness you're going to find of anybody, but he spent the last 2 winters training in Ohio. This whole winter, he's been in Ohio. Didn't go south any, so he's got about 10 solid hours on the bike through the off-season. He lives about 30 minutes from me. It's not been conducive. It's been
rainy,
cold, wet, muddy. It's not been conducive for riding.
How about that? John Glauda up into the number 4 spot. John Glauda Jr. up into the number 4 spot, right behind Hunter Hart. Looks like we lost Feehan because there is Chris in the number 5 spot. Looks like maybe Jared there. I'm not quite sure. And there's Cole Richardson. We got some really good battling going on right there. But I am incredibly impressed. Bryson Neal coming from 6th, going by Chris, Jared, Devin, and Hunter, and putting a gap on them all.
Right, and that's impressive, but I think it's impressive for what John Glauda's doing now, up from 7th to a 4th place position.
Oh, I know. There's another goal. Well, if you look, Bryson Neal and John Glauda were right next to each other at the finish.
He must have latched on.
John Glauda, there we have Josh Merritt coming through. I don't know that I missed Feehan or we didn't see him. I did not see him, so... But, yeah, good racing. So we should have Wesley Wolf next. But, yeah, John Glauda might have said, all right, I know B. Neal. I know he's a heck of a rider out here. He is my pace car right now. He's stuck glued to his rear bumper, and clearly it is working really well.
Phenomenal rider. I mean, John Glauda Jr., no doubt about it. I think that he's one of those riders that's kind of been overlooked. I mean, even his accomplishments. I mean, you just look at him and you say, John Glauda, good kid, good rider, man, and just amazing. But for some reason, you just don't keep sticking that big star over his head. You know what I mean? But he is that. I mean, that's exactly.
Absolutely.
But he's so down to earth, you don't get that feeling from him when he's off the track. You don't realize what kind of animal he is out there.
I think it's just his personality. He's a quiet kid. I think he keeps to himself, which, in my opinion, is a great thing. I mean, he seems to be a very humble kid. He comes from a fantastic family. They've raised him right, and clearly he has put in the work this winter. He came out last year. He pretty much dominated the XC2 class, won the championship, and he's rolling her right into 2020 in the XC1 class.
Yeah, and he's the name that probably we may be overlooking coming into this one. I mean, of rookies in the last few years, I think John Glauda probably has, and you could have said the same thing about Hunter.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel a little different about Hunter in his transition for some reason than John's. There's something about John Glauda's transition. I mean, his last year in the XC2 Pro-Am class that just really, in my mind's eye, has kind of set him above and a little ahead of some of the other rookies that have stepped up to this class. And I don't know why, especially when you look at the record of Hunter Hart. I mean, you would think, oh, Hunter would be the guy. But no, for some reason, I feel at least as a rookie, that John Glauda is going to make bigger strides, I think, than a lot of rookies have in years past.
Well, and I think a lot of that is just the fact, like we said earlier, he was kind of overlooked in the offseason. I mean, even by myself, I was thinking this morning, talking with my dad a little bit, you know, who's going to do good today, who's going to be in the top 5, and honest to God, sorry, John, but I didn't think about you.
I know. I mean, what it is, and this is what it is. I mean, you know, okay, John Glauda, he's moved up to the XC1. He's a rookie. These veterans are going to chew him up and spit him out.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the mindset that you get until you see this.
Yeah.
And then you're reawakened of the actual talent that Glauda has.
Yeah. No, he's a smooth rider, and it's actually funny. I guess John Glauda, I believe, is in 3rd or in 4th, right behind Hunter Hart in 3rd. And those guys have gone back and forth for years. I believe they battled in the A class.
Yep.
They battled in the XC2 class.
Yep.
And I think Hunter Hart's always been like 1 year ahead of him. I think he's might be a year older. So,
Yeah.
you know, John was getting into the class when Hunter was leaving, but they've always been right there with each other.
And this is good. I mean, if John catches up to Hunter at the front of the pack this early in the race, I mean, this could be big things for both these riders. They could really push, and we see it. I mean, they push each other to extraordinary limits. I mean, we've seen it so many times, like you said, in that XC2 Pro-Am class a couple of years ago when they were head-to-head, college class, same thing. But they could put themselves in a much better position than what we even realize here in this first round of racing. And if that trend continues, if they start that trend and they continue that trend all season, I'm telling you, this is a season for change. It's a new decade. There's a lot more changes across the board on the ATV side of things and on the motorcycle side of things. So many announcements and so many different things happening that it was not going to surprise me to see in this new era some of the young guns becoming some of the forces to reckon with.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean we got those two young guns there in 3rd and 4th place, and directly behind him we have two of the most known veterans as well. We got Chris Borich and Jared McClure right there behind him. So yeah, I mean we got two ends of the spectrum. We got the young guns, we got the veterans. And they're just really mixing it up out there. And I'm anxious to see how those two groups go against each other in the 3rd and 4th lap. The tracks start getting rougher.
Yep.
They get into the lappers. You know, smaller things start to matter.
And that's the beauty of this off-road racing, especially at the first round. I mean, people are coming in with so much angst and anxiety and so much adrenaline flowing, you know. Mistakes can be made. Riders could push themselves out and like in be in familiar territory and make those mistakes. Walker Fowler in the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute pit stop there now as he goes to the MMI and fresh pair of goggles. Looks like he's going to get himself top off on the tank as well. So Walker Fowler, no pressure whatsoever. And even though Walker's led a lot like this last year, I think it's been a while since he's been that comfortable in a pit stop. I mean, that comfortable anyway.
I mean, it didn't look like there was any words exchanged hardly. It was, yeah, just do what you're doing and keep going. Yeah, I mean.
Hey, can you order that pizza for after the race?
Right.
I want pineapples this time.
That's a touchy subject with some people.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It is.
You don't like pineapples?
No. I mean, he is just on it, and I'm kind of watching the clock here. It's looking like he's got a good bit more than 40
well
seconds.
over a minute. I mean, in 3 miles, dude, he spread 25 seconds in 3 miles.
Oh, if this is
that
okay,
Hart?
Where
yeah,
is
that's
Bryson
Hart back
Neal?
up into the number 2 spot. So back into the MMI pit stop now, back behind him.
Did the camera miss Bryson or no?
No, that's Bryson right.
No, that's not.
Yeah, that's Bryson right there.
There's Bryson. Oh no, that's Chris. That's Chris. Bryson's pit is the HR, the Hauser Racing tent right there, and I did not see.
Haven't seen him yet.
I don't know if we missed him too. A little hard to see which riders are which from up there in the sky. I mean, that is an awesome shot, but it is a little tough to see which are which. So, but it won't be long. What we got, maybe 2 minutes before we see him in the finish line. Those guys anyway. Walker Fowler should be making his way into that finish line chicane here any second. But yeah, I mean, these guys are close, all of them. The only one that we're not sure about is Bryson Neal. I could have sworn he was up in that number 2 spot, unless I just read it wrong.
No, I don't think you read it wrong. I mean, there was someone between Hunter Hart and I think it was Neal, and it only makes sense too because of where Glada was in that 4th place position. So, but a lot of change. Like I said, early in the race, a lot of things can happen out here, and we'll be talking about 2 different races maybe 3 different races by the time we come around to the checkers. In all honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a little tricky to pick these riders out, being the new year. They're wearing new gear, new bikes, new graphics. I know by the end of the year you can almost do it with your eyes closed, but
Johnny Gallagher hands down the best at it.
He's been doing it too long.
I mean, he can just look at a guy's riding style. Doesn't have to look at gear. Just look at how he's positioned on the bike. That's so-and-so.
Some people Some people have very distinct riding styles. We were actually just talking about that. I was at Baylor's house this week, And the difference between Grant Baylor and Stu Baylor, I mean, they're just 100. They're both just incredibly fast, but they have completely different styles.
Style, yeah.
Yeah, and the quad's the same way. Right there is Wesley Wolf. I can always pick him out. Walker Fowler, I can always pick him out. Elbows up, which right there is a perfect example of that. He just looks smooth. So
2 lap boards out, so 2 down, 2 to go. And that puts us at right at that 1 hour mark, actually about 57 minutes into this race. Now we'll get the official countdown for you here in just a second. But, wow, Walker Fowler really putting a big explanation point on this first race of the season, saying, boys, you want the championship, you got to catch me.
You're going to have to try a little bit harder is what he's saying right now. Because, I mean, the thing that blows my mind is what happens when Walker does get pushed? Does he have an extra gear, or is this it? You know what I mean? Very rarely do you see him where he's on edge.
Right.
You watch him come through these field sections, and I'm not saying that anybody else really looks like they're on edge either, but he just looks smooth.
Yeah.
So and some of that might be, he's been running that same program, the same mechanic, for years, and maybe he's just extremely comfortable with it. Looks like we have some more riders coming out here now. That still looks like Hunter Hart in that number 2 spot.
Wow, pretty impressive stuff there for the youngster.
Jared there. I know that. I'm struggling, I got to admit here. That might be Chris. That is Chris.
A 26:55 lap time, just under the 27-minute lap time for Walker Fowler that last time around. Other guys, the lap before, 29.5 minutes.
Can you refresh that quick?
I'm refreshing, but it's being very slow. And
I tell you, we got some battles going on.
I know,
now.
and we can't get their
Hunter
names.
Hart, Cole Richardson into the number 3 spot. Let's keep in mind that he was second to last off the start and a good bit back, and he is putting in the work, coming through the pack. So maybe it could have been him that I know it was Bryson, because I saw something hanging off his helmet that I saw in the first lap. So we are missing Bryson, but Cole moved up into the number 2 spot. Chris Borich in the number 3 spot. Chris Borich in the number 4. Jared McClure 5th, and is John Glotta right behind him, or is he a little bit back?
A 6th place position.
2 seconds back.
Wow,
from Hunter Hart to John Glotta, 2nd to 6th, is about as close as you can get.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Glotta in the 6th, and Devin Feehan. There's Feehan. He's dropped at least to a 7th place position, and we wait now to see what timing and scoring will tell us as far as that and where Bryson Neal may be. Josh Merritt checking in 7th place. He made a few gains on that last lap of racing. So it looks like at the expense of Feehan and quite possibly Bryson Neal, as Bryson Neal has not checked in yet. We don't see, he's back as far as at least 9th place position, at least for the moment.
Yeah, and here we have another rider, which is a Suzuki, so it should be Wesley Wolf. So it does look like we have lost Devin Feehan and Bryson, which is, they were both in that 2nd place battle. So that would have taken that from a 5-rider battle to a 7-rider battle, which would have been even better. But unfortunately, it looks like those two have suffered some either mechanical problems or maybe made too big of a mistake out there in the woods.
Man, I just can't get over this soil. Watch that dirt just
doesn't get any better than
that.
It
doesn't. I mean, that right there, I mean, you're kicking up a nice little rooster tail back there, that dirt, but it's so heavy it lays back down. There's no dust in the air. And it just moves the dirt around and makes the track even better, moving that dirt around like it does, opening up lines and changing things each and every time that somebody goes by. Wow, pretty impressive stuff. There's no doubt about it. You got Walker Fowler out front. Leading by a minute and 15 seconds now.
I didn't
yeah, minute 15 seconds over Hunter Hart, who was last year's Ironman winner. He came in with a big explanation point to this last year's season. Cole Richardson up to 3rd from next to last on lap number 1. Borich in 4th, Jared McClure in 5th. How is this all going to unfold? And we're keeping an eye on John Glotta back in 6th. Will he be able to break the top 5? Will he see a podium in his first race of 2020? We'll have to wait and see. Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this. And welcome back to GNCC Live from Union, South Carolina. The kickoff to the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Championship season presented by our good friends at Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you only faster, and it is the AMA National Championship. Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf and our own Chuck LeMaster, our GNCC pastor, filling in for Mikey Wayne. But somebody slipping off the trail over into the ditch, grabbing with their trailer out of the trees or someplace and ripping down fiber optics and stuff like that. Well, I'll tell you what, these boys have been working since early this morning. I don't even think the sun had risen yet, and they were out in the woods working, trying to get this shot right here up and going. So, way to go, boys. Way to go.
Perseverance, right?
That's it.
Racer TV guys are running around fist pumping right now. Get the recognition they deserve.
They
right?
deserve it, man. I mean, people don't realize what it takes. I mean, we're sitting here and you're watching and say, well, they should do this. They don't realize the elements in which the technical elements, what the crew has to fight with to get these shots back from so far away. And thankfully, the fiber optics, that kind of stuff is really helping out a lot. The fiber cable and you got the wireless shots that we do combined with that is really starting. And I think this year we're going to see even bigger strides in some of the shots that we're able to achieve just from, well, days like today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's impressive the work that these guys do to get the shots that they do. I mean, this isn't. We've definitely established that this is not an easy form or an easy sport to watch.
So Jordan and Jeremy and whoever else I'm forgetting out there, I know there's a bunch of them, but Jordan and Jeremy really working very hard on making sure that happens. Jeremy Zollers, of course, and right now, says the race clock, we're an hour and 4 minutes into this race now. An hour and 4 minutes, so we're just under an hour. The 2-lap board is out. And as we're at the halfway point, I know we can do a lot of speculation. And look at this. Let's talk a little bit about this creek jump. I don't think, did you guys get a hit that this morning?
No, we didn't. We were.
You have hit it in the past, so let's talk a little bit about the creek jump and how big of an obstacle this is for the race fans here at Big Buck.
It's a great thing to go down and watch. As you see, I mean, it's crowded down there. Something good to watch. For these pro riders, they hit it with ease, no problem at all. But they do have an alternate route. You'll see the guys come right around that Specialized banner, some of them anyway. They'll make a hard left and they can actually go down through the creek instead of up and over it. Probably loses you about 8 to 10 seconds though going around it, so it does make a big difference. But the creek jump is one you cannot roll. You cannot roll over it. You got to jump it. And unfortunately, we do get every now and then we get someone that tries to roll over it or chickens out right there at the last minute and it ends badly.
You want to see something good. if you've got some old coverage, if you happen to, when we used to do the DVDs like in 05, 06, and 07 and things like that, if you go back and you watch the 05, 06 Big Buck GNCCs, they put the amateurs down there.
That's why they don't do it anymore.
You talk about carnage and excitement on video, that is certainly something that you want to go back and see, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's the problem is you look at these pro riders and do it, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's you just sit there and go over it, right? It's that easy.
Is it that easy? I mean, what is the option?
Well, I mean, it is for the pro guys. They think it's it's just like brushing their teeth. It's just a normal thing for them to jump over it, but. This is an insanely tricky sport, and these guys do this every day, and they train for this every day. And the problem is some of these amateurs, they look at it like, oh, it looks easy. That's no problem. And then they get to the face of the jump, and they realize it's not so easy.
Well, the face, I mean, it can be eat out, but, I mean, the landing, I mean, it can be soft down there. So when you land, I mean, depending on where you land, if you land someplace soft, it's going to I mean, it's just the bike reacts so many different ways every time you land.
Absolutely, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, I raced the XC1 class forever, and that you treat that like just a normal everyday. You don't even really think about it, but it can be very tricky. And there we're getting some landscape of
that is beautiful right there.
It is. It's a great area down here. A lot of open land, as you can see here, and it makes.
I think Myrtle Beach is straight. Through there.
Yep, I think so.
That's where we're need to head tomorrow or Monday.
Actually, plan out a route right through there.
Yeah, I think we can make it there.
Yeah, no, this place makes for some really great racing. I guess I was trying to think of that this morning. Do you have any idea how long we've been here?
I think 1997, if I'm not mistaken, was the first year that we were here.
Yeah, I know. We've been here since I've started racing, and that was 11 years ago. So I know it's been quite a while, and it's just always been one of the best tracks of the year. It's just a solid track. The property is awesome here, and as you can see, even if it does end up raining or we get some bad weather, it handles it really, really well.
So I'm doing the math here. 97 to 17 would be 20 years. Yeah, so we're at 20.
97 to 20 is 23. Wait, 97? Yeah, 20.
97 to 17 is 20, right?
Yeah, so 20.
And then add 3 more on it. Yeah, so this would be 23 years, so 22 runnings minus the 2019 run now.
Yep. Oh, right. We missed it a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the place has held up great. I mean, it's not hurting real bad. I mean, every year we come here, we get a lot of new sections, a lot of fresh sections, and all the old sections are still good. I mean, it's definitely really
I mean, there's
great.
a lot of property here to be able to utilize, and that's one thing that Jeff Russell and the track crew really look into. I mean, year after year, and this property's seen a lot of changes too, with some tree farming and things like that. Some of the trees have been taken away, others have been planted in other areas, and there's been a lot of changes to the property over the years also.
Yeah. And there's actually a big variety of or a big difference in a lot of the trails here. I know we got some really, really fast field sections, and then over here on the one side of the road coming in is extremely tight pines, and I'm talking tight, like just very narrow, rooty, up and down, just real snug. And then you get over here on the other side, and in parts it's some of the fastest racing we've ever had. So it is kind of nice. I mean, even this morning in the 4x4 Pro class, it was myself and Cody Collier, and we were talking after the race, and he really seemed to shine over here in the tight stuff, and I felt like I had him covered a little bit more in the fast stuff, and it's a nice all-around track.
Hey, I want to say thanks to both you guys, by the way. I haven't had a chance to do that. Putting on a great show this morning. I mean, that was pretty spectacular. Chuck LeMaster was doing the announce call, but I was stuck on the start. Wasn't stuck, but I was on the starting line with the U start, the micro starts, and then of course the 11 o'clock start, going back to back to back to back, and then had to do the pro rower interviews. But I got a chance to listen in, and you guys 1 second apart basically the entire race. I mean, was there ever much more than that between you two?
Now, there we have Walker Fowler on screen. coming through about 6.5 again. No, not really. I mean, there was a couple times, and we both led at different times of the race. We both led at different times, and he had the lead a couple times, made a little mistake. I'd squeezed by, but I would say the biggest difference between us at one time, I was probably about 10 to 12 seconds behind him. Ended up closing it up and got around him. I think maybe on the beginning of the third lap, I think it was. And yeah, I mean, it was, I would say most of the time we were within 3 seconds of each other, and that's just how it ended. And the funny thing was we both had our own problems as well. You know, I had a couple bike problems, and he did as well. So it was, no, it was really good racing, both of us.
And what was it like from I mean, that had to reinvigorate the racing blood. I mean, your heart, I mean, it just had to be like overwhelmed, like, yeah, this is why I do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was really good stuff. And a lot of option lines out here too, so I led the entire last lap there, but I was talking to him after the race. There were a couple times I heard him coming on the side of me, you know, he'd grab another line and I might get stuck behind a lapper or something, and I could hear him coming up beside me, but no, just really good racing all the way around. Here we have second place, looks Cole Richardson.
Wow. Yep. Cole Richardson's around Hunter Hart, then it looks like, huh?
Richardson into the number 2 spot.
Well, he was only half a second behind Hunter last time. I just got to. Now, if Hunter was smart, he would just have latched on and learned from Cole Richardson as we're watching there.
There we go. So he has not done that. Hunter Hart in the number 3 spot. It's going to be tough to grab these guys. Chris Borich and Jared McClure.
Wow. Sneaky Snake right there.
And then that looks like Glada coming through.
Was.
We got a quick glimpse of him, but looks like a lot of black gear, which is exactly what John's wearing. And then we have some spectators flexing for us. So, yeah, man, really good racing. I guess we didn't lose anybody this time. We had Cole, Hunter, Chris, Jared, and John.
Yeah.
So next we should see the number 11 of Josh Merritt.
And there's about a minute when they came through the finish line, about a minute that separated that 6th to 7th place position between Glada and Merritt. But I gotta give Merritt some merit here. As great start for him. He had some good runs there last year. I started seeing at the end of the season especially, he started getting more solid, more consistent. He seems to be riding with a little more fever this year and a little more aggressively where he's looking for better results.
Yeah, absolutely, and he is training with John Glada Jr. He lives at John's house. Here we have Cole Richardson.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, so both of them, I think they're really pushing each other. But man, what a heck of a ride that was! Cole, there he is. What a heck of a ride out of Cole Richardson. I mean, I saw him off the start. He was pretty sure he was second to last, and clearly just kept himself under control, stayed calm, and has made quite an impressive ride here today.
Yeah, we talk about the changes. Cole Richardson still riding for Action Off-Road, folks, but Teely Energy Racing is, like we said, a big support for him. Phoenix Racing Honda, big support for Chris Borich. As far as some of the other riders out there, Walker Fowler teaming up with the Landsmill XC team, the WFR and Landsmill XC team getting together, and that brings Drew Landers under his tent. And something to point out for Chris Borich.
That's what I was getting ready to say. One thing we haven't really talked too much about, and we need to.
Yeah, the Phoenix Honda Racing ride that he's got, so a totally different scenario than he's ever been in his life. He's never been in a team aspect.
Yep.
He's always been an individual. You know, when he rode for Factory Suzuki, they shipped everything to him and said, you know, here's your parts, go do your thing. And he went out and won championships and so forth. But it's a whole different element. And, you know, Chris, obviously it's something that he's not used to, but something he's learning. And I think each and every week he's learning more and more about. And I think Chris, I believe that we're going to see some pretty amazing things out of Chris with this team and the team itself. And speaking of which, we did have a chance to catch up with Chris Borich and talk a little bit about the changes that were made for him in the offseason.
Hey guys, Chris Borich here. Yeah, this year coming into the 2020 series, we made a big switch. We went to Phoenix Honda Racing this year. Definitely totally different program than what I'm used to. Obviously, I ran Suzuki's for a while, but we made the switch. Did a bunch of testing with it. Really happy with the way the team and everything's working. So looking forward to starting off here in Big Buck and see what we can do.
And, of course, I think it's a great element. Like Chris said, he's never done the team thing. So
It's something that he's still getting used to, but once he really gets it dialed in, I think we're going to, like I said, we're going to see big things out of him because he's going to get to share some of that knowledge with some of the younger guys like Noah Mickelson and Grayson Eller and some of those guys. That's going to be, I think that'll be good for him because it's going to reinvigorate him being able to teach these guys, and it's going to remind him of a few things too. Sometimes we forget stuff, and then all of a sudden get woke up. And I think it's a plus and a positive, especially if they work together like that.
Chris has been at this for a long time. So, you know, sometimes, and you know, he's obviously knows how to win. He's got the most ATV or most wins ever in general. But sometimes you need a little spark. You need a little excitement. You need something new to
change
really
the game, man.
Yeah, to really get you going again, get you excited about going racing, and you know, hopefully that works. Is that Devin Feehan's bike there?
Oh, mercy. That explains a little bit. Maybe we can grab a mic and head down there and talk to Devin here in just a moment and check out what's going on. But what a heartbreaker for that rider. I mean, wow. I mean, he's got it. Wait, doesn't he have his own signature series goggles now with the 9.2
He does,
guys?
yeah. They have a Devin Feehan signature series of 9.2 goggles, and
well, goggles didn't help him out
there
today.
They are. Yeah, I don't think it's the goggles that
no, that's not the goggles' fault. He had clear vision.
Look at those things. Look at that Devin Feehan signature right there.
That right there's got to make him feel good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. That 9.2 is a cool company that's here at GNCC every weekend. Awesome family that's running it, and
GNCCers themselves, aren't they?
Yes, they're at every single one. Like I say, it's a really good family, and they're making strides in the goggle industry, and they're really working well. So I guess we should see them at the FMF PowerPoint next. Is that, I'm trying to think, do we have a track map here? Yes, it should be after, right after the backside of the finish line there. We'll either be at the FMF PowerPoint or over here at the pits, one of the two.
I think Adam's telling we'll probably be picking these guys up at the somewhere in the pits.
Okay.
So maybe.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to, some of these guys that are a little bit far back. I know Cole's got a little bit of a gap in between him and third place ride of Hunter Hart, but other than that, these guys are going to need to start making some moves. The white flag's going to be coming out here soon.
All right, put yourself in Hunter Hart's position right now, coming off of a big win. Obviously, a lot of excitement coming into the year for yourself. Second place there for a while, now dropped back to third, but a very solid ride that he's got going on. Got a lot of pressure being applied to him right now as well. What do you think's going on with Hunter? You think he's disappointed? You think he's going to be okay with the way this, even if he doesn't get a podium, or if he gets a podium or just outside the podium, you think it's going to be a solid day for him?
I do. Yeah, I think Hunter's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows that we are at round one. You know, the championship is not being won today, or no results are being decided today. So I think he's definitely going to want to be in the top 5, which I think he's more than capable of doing. Podium, if he was on the podium, I know he'd be stoked out of his mind. And 2 weeks from now, we are heading to Palatka in Florida, which Hunter Hart probably spends more time than anybody in Florida in the off season, and he probably rides in Florida more than anybody. So I am kind of anxious to see what kind of results we see out of him down there. I know those sand whoops are probably treating him pretty well. He's probably getting pretty comfy in them. So that is going to be exciting to see. Gets on the podium here. We send him to Florida. I think we might see something good out of him there.
Oh, I think there's a lot.
Not that this isn't good. This is
right. No, I think there's lots of good in store for him and several folks. Like I said, this is a season of change. I mean, we're looking at a new decade, and what I consider possibly a new era about to shape up in GNCC. We may see this year Walker Fowler winning that championship, and obviously on the two-wheel side of things, likely that Caleb Russell will probably win the championship. No guarantees, obviously, because he's got some stiff competition coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I think we'll witness, even if both do win their championships, they're both going to find that competition that people are looking forward to seeing happen. And we're going to see changes throughout the field of the top 10. I think we're going to see, like we're seeing already, you know, some of these guys that were in the back now into the top 5 positions. But it's still early in the race. Well, not so early in the race right now, as we are over an hour into this race. I'm working on an hour and a half. but early in the season. I mean, you still got guys like Adam McGill, who's out of this one because of mechanical issues or whatever happened.
Is he out, or did he end up going back out?
I don't know. He may have gone back in.
XC1 class, see if he finished his second lap there.
Okay.
Or even his first. I guess that was the first lap that he was pulled in. So if he's not on the results at all, we're gonna assume that he was out. We'll give that a little bit to load. Guess we should be seeing him here pretty soon. I guess within maybe 5 or 8 minutes, we should have him here in the pro pits. But track looks like it is shaping up really, really good. You can see there in the pro pits. I mean, even the slightest bit of dust popping up here and there, and we were worried about having a mutter here. So quite the change of plans here, but turned out to be an awesome weekend, and clearly working out for the number 1 of Walker Fowler.
So checking the action high above in our Yamaha Racing Skycam. I tell you, like you said already, some of the best shots we got out there come from this Skycam out there, and I think that's pretty amazing stuff that we're able to bring that to you. Thanks to Yamaha Racing, revs your heart, and certainly makes the viewing of our GNCC racing a whole lot more enjoyable. There's a couple of fans just hanging out, watching what's going on. Looks like that did some racing this morning. Now it's time to watch, and there goes Walker Fowler.
Is that him?
Yep.
So we missed. I guess we missed him in the pro pits. I never.
Well, he was that far ahead of everybody. That's what it basically boiled down to.
Yeah, there he is. White flag is out. The number 1 is in the number 1 spot, and he is. It doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. That's for sure. I mean, he is on it.
26:55 was his lap time at the end of lap number 2. We'll see if he's slowing down or not. I know it certainly doesn't look like it. If you're looking at the physical aspect of it, where he's out here riding right now. I mean, he's just as hard on the gas and fast as he has been all race long. But I know that the timing and scoring computer came up and said leader late, but he wasn't very late because it's still marked at 00000.
Right. He's,
so I think he checked in just at 000000001.
Yeah, we're getting ready to see. I am anxious to see where his lap time stacks up to his last lap time. I think his second lap, his second lap was faster than his. Well, that was obvious because they skipped the finish line the first time. But there it is. Actually, it slowed down.
Only by about 8 seconds.
Yep, by about 8 seconds. So, but at this point, why would he push the envelope anymore and risk something happening? There is the second place ride. Cole Richardson coming through. Really having a great race, though. I'm very impressed with where he's put himself late in the race. And white flag. Oh, there we have a rider down, and Cole Richardson stuck behind him. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
There he goes. Got around him. Didn't lose too much time. Looks like
what happened there?
That rider there stuffed her in a rut and went up over the bars, and Cole Richardson was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So got out plenty of time. Still got that number two spot locked down. Just looking smooth as ever out there. And very impressed with the gap he's put on the third place spot. I know I've said it over and over, he came from the back, but man, he got up there in the number 2 spot, put the hammer down, and he is out of there. Chances of him pulling in Walker Fowler is slim, but we just got to keep pushing and take home valuable points from this race. And second place at the first round is definitely valuable points in my book.
Well, right now, watching the action here at the Big Buck GNCC in 2020, we keep pointing out it's been a couple of years since we've been here, and it was in February as well last time we was here. Wonder what the conditions were like and what that race was like. Let's check it with the 2018 highlights of our ATV racing right here from the Big Buck GNCC and see how things were just 2 years ago in our specialized race recap. Well, as we take off on this one, look who got the whole shot. That doesn't look anything much different than what we saw today, actually. Walker had about that much of a lead heading into the first couple of turns there today. He had the 521 of Adam McGill back there. You see Chris Borich is back there. Jared McClure was back there. Still a lot of the same key players. Chris Borich, oh, mercy. And then McGill that's the kind of little things that sneak up and bite you out there. And then alternate line choices for Cole Richardson there made him.
That's some crazy stuff there. That was a good section, but yeah, that's part of GNCC racing.
And you look at the difference in the trail. So much drier, so much dustier.
Yeah.
If I remember right, temperatures were what, in the 70s or something like that?
I think it was pretty warm, yeah. It was definitely a different setup.
Well, you look at the
today.
T-shirts and shorts and people are wearing something far cry different than what we're seeing people wear here this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of differences. You see, it's funny going back 2 years, all the things that have changed just in that amount of time. I mean, Chris Borich there on the Suzuki, his signature Suzuki ride that he was on for so many years. Jared McClure, though, just same setup over and over. He's found something that works great, and he's sticking with it.
Oh, yeah, it works for him. This right here works for Walker, too. What he's got going on is he took the win back in 2018 on his road to taking over 50 wins there last year. I think we're at like 53 different wins. But, hey, we'll find out more about whether he can cap another one on that one when we return here on GNCC Live.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
When you crave the canyon passes, rocky trails, rutted tracks, the podiums and personal records, it becomes part of you. The choice now is, do you become a wanderer or the wanderer? You just need to ride where you belong.
And welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. Rodney Tomlin along with Chuck LeMaster and Landon Wolf. And this is our on-track school programs where Tim Cotter and several GNCC racers go out to local schools and visit. Jeremy Ladon there, I see, and a few other folks. They go out, and, of course, they inspire these kids, and they teach them, basically show them about positive mental attitude and, you know, what those types of things can do for them in life and things. I mean, we got kids from little kids out there, as you can see, Lindsay.
Always try to include the local heroes.
Yeah.
So you see Lindsay, you see Cameron Aby right there, some of the local riders here, and they go out to the school. I got to do that for a couple of years, be the MC for that. Oh, a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
It's definitely a great program. There's no doubt about that. You know, speaking of school, you know, we go to school like this, but, you know, there's another school that really means a lot in the motorcycle racing world. We're talking about MMI, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, and, hey, our spotlight on the motorcycle and ATV mechanics in GNCC.
That's right, and how appropriate. We're looking at Pro Row here and all those mechanics that are lined up in there. Rodney, I'm with Team Faith Racing, and there for several years. I was actually the mechanic for our pro riders. I had Jeff Gibson and Kelly Smith and Kevin Johnson, some of these guys that were winning main events, and got to be their mechanic. And all the time, people would be coming up to me, how do you get to be a pro mechanic? You know, I'm no good on a dirt bike, but I'd like to be a pro mechanic. How do I get to do what you do? MMI is a great path for that. You go to school, you find out how to work on these bikes, and then you get with a local pro and work your way through the ranks. You don't get to just come out of school and jump right onto Pro Row, but you earn your way there just like you would if you were racing the four-wheeler or the dirt bike yourself.
Exactly, and we also had one do that as well. We're talking about Lucas Staten and our Motorcycle Mechanic Institute Spotlight Mechanic of the Week.
So I've raced all my life. I think I started doing GNCCs with 2008 probably, and I've been a mechanic for probably 6 years now, and I raced XC2 for the GNCC series for 3 or 4 years, and I went down with the M Pro team just to train and stuff, and then I got my foot in the door and started helping here and there, and then all of a sudden it's a full-time position, and I love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else, and you know, I've been doing it for 6 years, like I said, and I love it. I enjoy every minute of it. Like when I was racing, I always wanted to work in the industry. I never wanted to work a normal 40-hour week like digging ditches or whatever. I always wanted to do something in the industry, and luckily I found this, and I don't mind getting up every day and going to work. You know, it's pretty cool. I've been an XC1 mechanic for really the past 5 years. I was with Ricky Russell last year. I was with him for 3 years, and this is the first time I've actually worked on an XC2 guy, and you know, it's pretty much the same. It's a smaller placement engine, and you know, this will be my first race, so I haven't had an XC2 race yet, but I hope it'll be the same, and I think it'll still be good. My name's Lucas Statham. I work for the AmPro Yamaha team, and this year I'm mechanicing for Mike Witkowski in the XC2 class.
Well, there you go. I mean, Lucas is one of those guys. I mean, he was a racer and had the opportunity. He saw the window of opportunity and said, that's the path that I'm going to take. So, hey, that could be your path, too.
Absolutely.
All righty, picking the action back up out here. Walker Fowler continuing to dominate the field out there, and he's somewhere in the neighborhood now pushing close to 2 minutes over the rest of the field.
And he's just been on cruise control all race long. He's not, and I heard Landon talking about this. It's not like he's pushing the envelope. He's not right there on the edge. He's just comfortable. He's honestly, just doing what he does.
That today it seems to be the most natural and flowing. I mean, there's no, like you said, nothing being pushed. I mean, he's just in a zone right now, and you can tell just watching him go. I mean, whatever zone he got in, those other boys better find it pretty soon, because it's going to be a long
Now, he does
season.
have an advantage. I know everybody else has an advantage that they've got new teams, but he's got the advantage that he's dialed. He's not figuring stuff out, man. He knows, and even though we haven't raced here for a couple years, his team is dialed. His suspension's dialed. He knows what tires he likes, and he's not trying to figure things out the week before the season opener.
Well, I can tell you right now, he's got those GBC ground busters on right now. I know and that was a new tire company. That was a change for him last year.
That was a big change for him.
You know, there were a lot of people, and I'd heard people say, I don't know if Walker is, if his style of racing is conducive to the type of tire that GBC produces. They thought, well, maybe it's too soft of a compound. He'll shred those tires. Nuh-uh. Walker Fowler has made great. I mean, made the show. I think they proved to a lot of people just exactly how good those tires
were.
Yeah,
I mean, good for him, and good for them too. It's been a great fit for both GBC and for Walker Fowler.
Amen on that one. That's for sure. As we're checking in with some of our wood sections out here, and here's some of that tight stuff that we were talking about. Now that don't look so tight because it's all. But I mean, if you venture off the trail, you're going to get into some shrubs.
Yeah, this isn't a place where you could pass a lapper. This is a place where
if you are going to pass a lapper, you better be willing to mow down some trees and go through some briars. I'll tell you that.
That's right. I'll tell you what. I know firsthand. These big buck pines, they don't move.
No, they're planted pretty solid there. There's no doubt. So Walker Fowler Still waiting out here at the Monster Mile. I don't think we've seen Fowler come through this one yet, as here comes somebody on a bicycle.
On a bicycle, scouting out for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's got to be one of our XC1 Pro or XC2 or XC3 guys, I'm sure.
Our race clock says that we got 3 laps complete, hour and 35 minutes into this 2-hour race.
Well, we're 2 hours and 35 minutes into a 2-hour race. But it's an hour. You're right. I mean, the race clock said, there it is.
There we go. I was trying to read it correctly, not to read what was actually on the screen.
It threw me off. I was like, wait a minute. But
it had me thinking, no, I'm pretty sure this is only 2 hours today. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have 2 hour and 35 minute
Sorry,
lap
Dan. Sorry, Dan. It just kind of confused me. I'm like, wait a minute. That says 2 hours and 35 minutes. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, it's only
ATV
a 2-hour race.
That's right.
It's ATVs. I keep, and this is the weird thing. All day long I've been expecting to see motorcycles for some reason, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's ATV day.
ATV day, getting ahead of yourself here.
And according to, I'm supposed to be the quad guy, and I'm totally overlooking the ATVs this weekend, just looking straight ahead. I don't know. I'm just so excited about everything that's going on. I mean, come back tomorrow. Even if you're not a two-wheel fan, come back tomorrow and see the changes and see what the changes maybe bring about with everything that's going on over there in the XC1, XC2, and XC3 classes. I know Chase Colville, who was a big XC3 rider for the Eddie Lojak's Yamaha team, he's moved up to the factory beta team now, so that's going to be an exciting twist, I think.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Did he go XC2?
No, he's still XC3.
He's XC3 on a beta.
I believe I'm
okay.
Sure. I'm
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I do too. I can't wait to see how that
one. And opening round is always so exciting. New sponsors, new teams. New numbers to remember.
Yeah. The beauty of it is the top three stayed the same in the ATV side of things.
Right.
So 1, 2, and 3 are still 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5, I think, switched around there. I think we got Cole Richardson, who was 5. He's 4 now, and McGill, he's 6th on the 5. Who is 5th this year? Anyway, I'll figure
Jared
it out.
McClure.
Jared McClure. Yeah, and Jared was actually 2nd the year before.
Yeah.
So he went back a few, and that was after a couple of DNFs. But if you look at how he was finishing there in the latter part of the season, you know how tight that battle was. And you talked to those boys, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place positions were in 6th place were all so tight when it came.
Kind of like what we're seeing today,
right? And the final round decided that last year, and this right here is setting the stage of what we're
more of the same.
Yeah,
battle
we're going to try to decide.
Except this time we got Hunter Hart up in the mix. I mean, he came on strong at the very end of last year. We knew he could do it all year long, but man, he's starting out strong, running in that 2nd place position right now.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he's still back in the number 3 spot, as we should have Cole Richardson in 2nd. A minute and 23 seconds behind Walker Fowler, and then Hunter Hart 31 seconds behind Cole Richardson. Jared McClure in the number 4 spot, and this is a big gap. And actually, no, I'm sorry. That's he was less than a second behind Hunter. Ooh, that Hunter Hart's probably under some big pressure.
Big pressure right now, huh?
I didn't see that coming through the finish line. I wish we were a little bit closer so I could pick them up visually when they come through. But John Glotta now up to a 5th place position, the rookie. Now we saw his pro debut late last year, but this is his rookie season going on right now. He's running top 5 today. He was 8th place on lap number 1. He's moved his way all the way up into a 5th place position here with 1 lap to go. How big a news is that?
That's really big news because this field is so stacked with solid competitors that have been at it for so long. I mean, everybody on this front row is veteran.
Yeah.
And Hunter Hart was the rookie last year, and we hoped for big things for him. He proved us right at the end of the year there, but it's so rare for a rookie to be able to step into this and be competitive top 5 right off the bat.
Well, watching now, Brandon Owens. I mentioned this kid a little bit ago.
You did.
He's up to 9th place overall.
9th place overall.
Still leading the XC2 Pro-Am class. His gap back to the 2nd place position of Jordan Poplaski, 39.5 seconds. And then another minute back to Ronnie Rush, who is now your 3rd place ride there in the XC2. Owens is 9th overall. Poplaski is in 11th. Ronnie Rush is 12th. Dylan Walraven, who's 4th in the class, is 13th overall. Kenny Schick still running a solid top 5 in the XC2 Pro-Am class. He's 14th place overall right now.
Oh, there you go. Way to go, Kenny. I know you were talking about him earlier. One of the guys that needs to step up and do something fast everywhere else, but prove it here on race day, and it looks like he's doing just that. And man, we had a cool shot on Racer TV here a second ago of that hill climb. And even the TV gave that thing some perspective. Usually you don't get the perspective of the hill climbs, but here at Big Buck they do have a big one, and it's right near the creek jump there, and definitely a good spot for the fans to go down and watch.
For sure. As we check into this, I did take a note of a couple other little things here in this top 20 overall. One in particular, AJ or Kuntz, but I think it's AJ. Former, he was an XC2 rider a few years ago. He came back, I think, some last year and battled with Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens, and the boys in the Bet 30 Plus class. He's back again this year, and he's leading the Bet 30 Plus, the Bet A30 Plus class, and he's 18th place overall.
Wow.
Top amateur.
Top amateur.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, that's good news for him.
It's kind of cool that we see our top amateurs coming out of the Vet 30 Plus A.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, some people might say, well, they're former pro or pro-am riders, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I don't care. When you start getting that age,
you start hitting that
well,
age.
You got to think about it. They don't do the training.
No, they have jobs. They all have jobs. I know Jeff Pickens, he's got a job. He's working every day.
So when they come out here and perform at the levels they perform at, that's a huge deal. It really is, because they're relying oftentimes on things that they did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever the case may be. I mean, that's the mindset. And, you know, I'm sure when they're on the bike, that's the way they think they should be feeling. That's the way they think they should be riding. But time catches up with you after a while.
They get surprised at themselves that they're so winded. Like, man, this didn't used to be so hard to go so fast. So I'm real proud of them. Anybody that can be in that class and be competitive and get that top amateur spot, it goes back and forth. We see some young guys get it occasionally. We see some older guys get it. And, man, that's what makes GNCC so great, is that it's race for everybody.
All right, let's take a look. We got the computer now. Let's do a top amateur rundown. We're going to go from top to bottom. From A's to B's, like this. Well, I thought we had it going on there for a minute. So a little bit of lag.
It kind of acts like my phone.
Yeah, it acts like me all winter long, just lagging.
Trying to catch up with yourself.
Pretty much. All right, let's take a look at the Junior B22 Plus class. Jacob Albaugh of West Milton, Ohio, leading that one. Travis Mathias out of East Rochester, Ohio, the 86 in second. Sean Newhouse. These are all new names, but look at that, all from Ohio. Sean Newhouse out of Mount Vernon, 414 in third. I'd say there's some OXCR guys, those Ohio cross-country boys.
Oh, no doubt.
Travis Matthews out of Gainsboro, Tennessee in fourth. Zachary DeNoble from St. Clairsville, Ohio, the number 220, another OXCR guy. Nick May, the 188 out of Monongahela, Pennsylvania. We got the 400, I should say, of Corey Pancake. I'm going to say this. I have no idea who that guy is, but I like
what
his
a cool name.
Yeah. Brent Varna, DJ Walensky, and Timothy Ryan Mazzelli are rounding out the top 10 in this Junior B22 Plus class. And some new names out here in this one. I don't know if it's new talent, people just stepping up into the class from other, or just people coming in new to the series and championship. I would say maybe it's a lot of local guys, but look at all the Ohio names we saw. There's the Bet 30 Plus class. Cody Stewart, Cody Holcomb, David Kite. He's moved up from the 25 Plus class now. Dominic Farito is fourth. Daryl Short rounding out the top five. Jason Flaviano, been up there. Daniel Dakota in this 40 Plus class, former ATV motocross guy. He's solid now in this 40 Plus class. And that's what we were looking at there a moment ago. It changed a little too quick on me. But nonetheless, what we got here?
That's Cameron Abbey right there.
I was going to say, that looks like a Team Faith sponsor.
Yeah, that's Cameron Abbey, the 888 in the College A class. Yes, he is running Team Faith graphics there. Looks like he's having a hard time catching his breath. Something wrong with his bike.
Went down. He might either that or he had to push his bike to that particular point. Whatever, he's winded. And
he's a fast kid. He's a kid that has been involved with Team Faith for a number of years. Man, when he was 13 years old, he was doing some youth chapel services over the Team Faith truck on Friday nights. Been cool to see him come up through the ranks, grow up. He's a solid Christian kid and comes from good family. Always good. You saw him on the school program yesterday, so it looks like he's got some help. They're going to push this bike. Never quit, never surrender.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Tough break, man.
All right, Cameron.
Definitely get your Well, eyes opened on days like today, man.
Yeah, you sure do. Look at that, man. Look at the heart. He's trying to just get the transponder scoring for that one lap.
Yep. So, I mean,
and Ricky Towery says, okay, he pushed it across. The transponder picked up. Now they're allowed to help him.
So, Cameron, I mean, looking at the surprises we see out of him, how deep he's willing to dig. And then on top of that, the people that come by and work with him as well. That's Cameron Abey. What is he, 15, 16 years old?
No, I think he's up to 19 now, man. Time
19?
flies by.
Wow.
He's in the college A class right now.
Okay. So.
And he's graduated high school, and he's a solid kid. But I love that because we've seen champions do what he just did.
Yeah.
We've seen champions push their four-wheeler across the line to get the score.
And people maybe say, well, what's the use? There's a big use. There's a big reason. I mean, crossing that finish line one more time can mean the difference between, say, a second, third, fourth place in your class to a 20th place in your class.
Sure.
I mean, that's how monumental that one lap complete can be, and for the overall as well, because you've got one more lap to score in the overall where you wouldn't have had, and you would have been back so much further. So, way to go, Cameron. My hat is tipped to you.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yep.
Me too.
And it goes to show you what kind of person he is, because he had so many people jump in to help him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It goes to show. It really does. I love this sport of GNCC, man. That's about to bring a tear to my eye. I mean, honestly, about how great the people are in this. And
all the people. And that's just a testament to Cameron's character that so many people are willing to jump in there and help him out. But we've got a lot of people around this track that will jump in and help anybody out.
Yeah, that's true.
And
mud please.
Yeah, mud please, man.
They're waiting to help you out.
There are some that are. And then there are some that just kind of look at you and say, you got yourself into it.
All righty, so here we are, 3 laps in. We got a change after 3, it looks like. According to timing and scoring, we have Drew Landers up front in the XC2 Pro-Am. Austin Abney, the 703 from Petersburg, Indiana, is now second. And Brandon Owens, who was leading out of Walker, West Virginia, has dropped back to a number 3 position. He's lost 12 seconds. Add that to the 32 seconds of Abney there. That's 45 seconds. 44 seconds that separate those two now. So from first place, so something happened to Owens, and I'm not going to say count him out now, boys. You know,
it's never over till it's over, is it?
No, it's not, and that's a glimpse of what we've got to see this year. Brandon Owens is the real deal. Period.
Yeah, no doubt. I think on our screen we just got a good shot of Walker Fowler coming through the pits, but he's gone. He's gone.
In and out.
Yeah.
In and out. Let's see. He is due in as far as his final lap complete here. By the way, Jordan Popolowski is 4th. Ronnie Rush drops from 3rd now. He was 2nd at one point, dropped to 3rd. Now he's into the number 5 position of that XC2 Pro-Am class. Walker Fowler due in 2 minutes, and here he comes.
And there he is, right there on screen.
Hunter. I'm going back to the Ironman just a few months ago, but there he is through our MMI pits on these Yamaha Racing Skycam. Walker Fowler on his way home to, I believe, this is win number 54, if I'm not mistaken.
54. Wow.
54 overall wins for Walker Fowler as he works his way through the chicanes and behind the different areas here and through the woods, and of course on his way home to another historical day. This will be his, how many times has he won here? I know Chris Borich has won here 8 times.
8 times.
Chris Borich has won here 8 times. Walker Fowler, I think if I counted it back right, had 4, maybe 5, so we're going to be 5 or 6 on this one for him. So we'll have to go back and look at the history of it.
Man, that's a decade and a half of wins between 2 guys.
Right?
Nobody else has won here.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? Not many other folks have won here on the ATV side of things.
It's been a long time. You'd have to go back to the balance days.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. Balance would probably be, and then I'm going to have to go back and see who has been winning these now. Now you got.
Yeah, I got to wonder. I did notice one thing on the start line this afternoon is that there were 2 guys out there with the big elephant ear mud flaps on their handlebars. They were both champions.
Chris Borich and Walker Fowler.
Yep. I said, well, champions think differently than everybody else.
They do. And even though it wasn't real muddy out here today, they weren't taking any chances.
They were not. No, they weren't.
As we roll through the closing moments of the BP Fuels Big Buck GNCC, the 2020 season opener here in Union, South Carolina. All eyes watching with bated breath that last and final wood section, as we'll be seeing Walker Fowler make his way out and into the finish line chicanes as he'll go home to capture checkers and more glory to kick off a new championship season and his bid for the number 6. And here it is, friends, into the final turns. We go.
He's not pushing his bike today.
No, he's not. Walker Fowler, fist pump in the air, and the checkers fly, and Walker Fowler has done it. He wins the season opener. He wins the Big Buck GNCC here in 2020. And convincingly.
Getting a big hug from his mechanic, Mark Notman, there, nodding his head like, yeah, this is a good day.
Well over a minute and a half gap. Minute and a half between the first, or at least a minute and a half plus between the first and second place positions. Phenomenal, to say the least. Looking for Cole Richardson to be that second place ride with Hunter Hart in third. Hunter was about 31 seconds behind Cole Richardson. Cole Richardson a minute and 23 seconds at last check behind that guy right there, Walker Fowler. I was going to say, did he even break a sweat?
Oh, yeah.
He broke a sweat.
He broke a sweat. He's excited. Congratulatory hugs from his mom there. And he's all smiles. You know what? What'd you say, 54 wins?
I believe it was 54.
54 wins, but you never get tired of it.
No.
And he works so hard in the offseason. He puts everything into his program, into his fitness. His team works so hard to support him. And just true champion right there. It's great to see.
It is. And look at that big smile on his face there, as you can tell, winning doesn't get old. I mean, this is the kid that when he was younger, he raced motorcycles and started racing a four-wheeler. You know why? Because he could have the chance to win 2 trophies in the same weekend. That's why he started. He liked the trophies. He liked the win. And he got to a point where they said, you're either going to ride a motorcycle or you're going to ride a four-wheeler.
A four-wheeler. Oof.
Here's the battle for second and third as they make their way in. Who's it going to be at the checkers? I believe that is going to be Coltrane, maybe? No. Who got that one? No, that was the number 3. That's Chris Borich.
That's Chris Borich that was about to go over the bars there.
I think Borich got third there. So
boy, by a whisker.
Yeah,
he was charging hard.
Yes, he was. Man, that right there, that's the new life that we're talking about. That's what the Phoenix Honda team aspect is going to bring to Chris Borich. It makes him hungry, and it gives him that extra drive in those final laps right there. So Cole Richardson will get second. And
Cole Richardson on a new team for, it's Silly Energy's first podium.
Terry McCour's got the third place. Was that a 3 or a 5 that went through?
That's a 3.
I swear it was a 3. Well, we'll get it all sorted out. We'll know more when we come back and head down to the Specialized Winners Circle coming back here in just a few moments. Stand by. GNCC Live continues with podium celebrations right after this.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2019 Yamaha YZ250F is available at LoJack Cycle Sales, alongside the all-new YZ65 and YZ85, and refined YZ450F. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
This week in Yamaha history. It was the opening round of the 2009 GNCC series, and everyone came into Florida's River Ranch GNCC hopeful and hungry. Riders like Chris Borich and Adam McGill were still young guns with lots to prove against the seasoned veterans of Brian Cook, Donnie Ackerman, Chris Bithell, William Yoakley, Bill Ballas, Dwayne Johnson, and so many more. Pennsylvania's Chris Borich, who was just beginning to pave his road to greatness, jumped out to the early lead. Soon, the then number 3 of Adam McGill found his way around and into the lead and looked ready to capture a huge opening round win. However, lurking in the shadows, working his way into third place, Yamaha's Taylor Kaiser was in hot pursuit. By race's end, Taylor Kaiser had made the pass and amassed a 1 minute and 13-second lead over the rest of the field. This gave Kaiser his one and only win that season, but setting the stage for many more battles for the top spot in GNCC. And that's this week in Yamaha history. Live coverage of the 2020 GNCC series on RacerTV.com is brought to you by MMI. Get there faster, smarter. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live from the season opener of 2020, the Big Buck GNCC, presented this weekend by our good friends at VP Racing Fuel, making power and making things happen out there today. Walker Fowler, dude, I'm telling you, man, you were left leaving nothing to be denied, nothing at all. I mean, the green flag went up on this one, and you went to work. I mean, you had like 4 bike links heading into the second turn.
I just, as soon as that thing fired, I looked over, I was the first one to move, and I was like, man, this is going to be my kind of day. I've been telling everybody all weekend it was a track that you had to have a good start and you had to have a clean first lap. And, that went really well, honestly, for 3 laps. Everything was going to par, but, man, that last lap, lap traffic, it's the first race, hearts are racing, everyone thinks they're the champion, and, man, every rider I caught, whether they wanted to be out of my way or not, it just, I fought them. I probably lost a minute that last lap. I know, I think my crew was missing Cole out there. They were doing the time back to third place, so Cole was actually pretty close-ish at the end compared to what the pit boards I was getting. But, overall, like I said, good day. I just need to clean up that last lap. But, overall, that's a textbook WFR, Land Mills XC Fly Racing, Yamaha, GBC tires kind of day.
No doubt, man. I mean, that is a textbook day. And, I mean, that's the kind of way, that's the way you want it to go every time, even though it can't go that way every time. I mean, I imagine you had to be thinking, what's going on back there? I know it's the first round, but you were flogging it. You weren't going to give them a chance, I don't think.
Like I said, the first race, you want to get good points. You want to start out with a statement race, and there's every year it seems like there's always some off-season talk. Can we do it again? Did he put in the work? So and so switched bikes. So and so's got a better training program. All that, but we stick true to our guns, and we know what works. We know how to win championships. We know how to win races. So we're not going to win them all. I'm sure these guys are tough. Like I said, Cole was really honestly a lot closer at the end than people think, but.
Yeah, we missed him. We thought that the McClure and Borich were battling for second. It was actually third.
Yeah, exactly. So there's always maybe we have a new sneaky snake in town with that number 4 ride.
No doubt. I'm going to go with you out on a limb on that one. But Walker, thanks for a great day, man.
Absolutely. Just want to thank all the fans. Want to thank all my awesome sponsors. Like I said, Yamaha, the whole WFR Land Mills crew that was out in the woods pointing lines. That was so helpful having some extra radios and pit boards out there. GBC tires are hooking up just absolutely incredible today. The Moto Experts motor, webcams, everything. Just my anti-gravity 24 volt, man. That start was something else. That was one of the better hole shots I've had. Brett
back Yamaha lubricants this year. You know, the whole shebang. Fly racing gear looking awesome, and obviously all the rest of our awesome sponsors.
All righty, there he is. It's Walker Fowler taking the season opening win. I believe that's what, win number 54 right there? 55. We forgot one. Win number 55 for Walker Fowler as he writes another page in the history books and does it here at the season opener. And as we were pointing out there a few moments ago, we were having some issues trying to figure where that second place. We saw the battle for third place come across the line with Jared McClure and Chris Borich. In the meantime, missing this guy right here, the number 4 of Coltrane. That is weird, isn't it, to say it like that? You know, we were just watching some footage from earlier from a couple of years ago. You were riding a 733 just a couple of years ago. You were number 5 last year. Here you are number 4 this year, and wow, with a ride like that, it could go up even closer and further up in the digits there to closer to that 1.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what happened on the start with me. Usually we get good starts and must have had some pre-race jitters, and I think we was actually last off the line, made some moves, and was sitting about, I think, 10th going into the woods, and kind of sat there in 8th for a while, you know, until a 2-lap card came out, and I finally started to kind of get back in the groove. You know, it's been a while for all of us. We can practice all we want, but we can't mimic the race. So, you know, we got into 8th. You know, I started making moves, got past Hunter, and, you know, we saw Bryson on the side of the track, so I knew, you know, unfortunate for him, but it was kind of good for me. So, you know, we ended up making our way up to 2nd, and we got back in the groove, and, you know, we ended up towards the front, and kind of wish we would have seen what we could have done with a good start.
No doubt. I'm sure there's a lot of people wondering that same exact thing, and that's got to give you the incentive heading into Florida. I know you've been training down there a lot.
Yeah, you know, Florida never used to, I don't know, I mean, I've done good there and I've done bad, and last year, you know, I finally set a good, you know, a good marker. You know, we went in, it was the first race of the year. Last year we got 2nd, and so, you know, the fitness is there. We started this year off with 2nd, and, you know, I feel a little bit better in the sand than I do the dirt. You know, we came up, you know, went straight from Ironman to Florida and rode sand all, you know, all winter, and I came up here the week before to try and get some dirt, but, you know, we had a little bit of rain, so kind of just rode the race bike for 10 minutes and decided to just kind of wing it today.
Well, winging it seems to work for you. There's no doubt about that, and congratulations to you. A lot of the same sponsors from last year, but a whole different effort going into this one today with the Teely Energy crew.
Yeah, you know, I was pumped for Todd, you know, coming on board, you know, and, you know, Ronnie lives actually pretty close to me, so it kind of made sense to team up with him and, you know, try and ride with Ronnie since he's close to home when we get back up there. And, you know, it's just awesome, you know, to, you know, be able to use their rig, have everything we need, and, you know, have their whole support and all their people in the pits. And made a switch to Kenda as well this year. They came out with a brand new tire, and really didn't have much time in the dirt, but, you know, they proved themselves today. We're up here on the podium in 2nd, and, you know, they did phenomenal. So between Teely and Kenda, and we have Mika Bars that are new, you know, pretty much, and Hauser. We have Hauser A-arms. So the program's pretty much the same, but, you know, with those new sponsors, you know, with the switch, we're still capable to get up here on the podium and hopefully have some more.
Well, congratulations to you, and thanks for another great ride today, man.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's Coltrane Cole Richardson taking the 2nd place position away, and like we were talking, maybe we ought to start calling him Sneaky Snake or something along those lines as well, because he is certainly proven to be that kind of rider. We got our 3rd place rider that we're going to be looking for right now, and I believe that is Jared McClure, if I'm not mistaken. That was the battle that we were watching come across the finish line there just a few moments ago at the checker flag. So we'll be there. He is. So here we got Jared, the Sneaky Snake, aka the Cobra. Man, you struck hard there at the end of the race. I mean, you were laying in wait, it seemed like, the entire race, and they'd sneak away from you, but you get them right back.
Yeah, I mean, laying in wait, I had a good start. You know, the Dirtworks kid got me fired up. Baldwin motor was super fast today. First 2 laps there, I got behind Hunter and Devin, past Devin, and I just kind of had a little problem reading the track. I got a little mixed up. Devin got me back, and just couldn't really find my pace in the beginning, man. I was making some mistakes, went backwards, was pumped up a little bit, just wasn't feeling too good out there, and kind of got my head back together, and got caught with Chris and I forget who, Chris and Hunter maybe. We started rolling, and then, you know, I started riding a little harder, and, you know, the bike was working better, and kind of got my head back on straight. And but honestly, it was just a tough day for me. You know, a couple guys had mechanicals, so I mean, the 3rd's good, but, you know, I'm not happy. I was expecting to be, you know, up front with these 2 guys trying to battle for the win. So just take it what it is. You know, some guys had issues. Sometimes that comes into play. I'm just glad, you know, bike ran awesome. The quad was dialed. So just looking forward to Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be some great incentive for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, just a little off pace in the beginning. Just had trouble reading the track. I don't know what it was, but definitely work on it and be ready for Florida.
All righty, man. Sounds good. Traditionally, how's things go for you in the sands of Florida? You do pretty good down there normally, right?
Yeah, I mean, usually it treats me top 5. You know, I've been on the podium down there. It's tough. Some of these guys are down there all winter, so, you know, they're super dialed in the whoops. But my setup works pretty good everywhere, and I'm comfortable on it, so I'll just run what I have and see what we can do. But I'm shooting for always shooting for that win.
All right, man. Thanks for another great show today, buddy.
Thanks, Rodney.
All righty, that's Jared McClure, Sneaky Snake, making things happen here in the soils of South Carolina to get things up and rolling. And what a great way to kick off 2020. As we told you, a new era, a lot of changes in this one. I think Jared McClure might be one of the only that didn't change a whole lot in his program out there. Just a couple little things, but nothing too monumental. I believe that's going to wrap things up, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, with that, I want to remind you to come back and join us tomorrow about 1 o'clock. We'll be out there with the two-wheel side of things. A lot of changes going on there, and the start to the final season for Caleb Russell in that XC1 Pro class in GNCC. What's it going to be like? Well, be sure and join us back here on RacerTV.com. On behalf of Landon Wolf, Chuck Lemaster, and all of us here at RacerTV.com, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.